Музарбек, добрый день. Можете проверить микрофон? Видно, слышно?
Добрый день, слышно? Здрасте.
Отлично, спасибо.
Ага.
Antonio, hello. Can you check the sound, please?
Hello?
Now it's okay, yeah? Do you hear me?
I do.
Okay, super. And you can check translation, yeah?
Uh, yeah, if we speak in English, I think it's fine.
All right. So we can start. Yeah?
Yeah.
Уважаемые участники вебинара, добрый день всем. Мы начинаем нашу работу. Представлюсь с самого начала. Меня зовут Гульнара Исаева, являюсь руководителем национального офиса Erasmus+ в Кыргызстане. И по инициативе сегодня Кыргызского государственного технического университета имени Разакова мы проводим наш очередной вебинар с участием
Hello?
европейского эксперта.
Yeah, we hear you now.
Темой сегодняшнего
Хорошо.
семинара является усиление практикоориентированного и
Can you hear me?
междисциплинарного обучения. Sorry, Antonio, what?
Okay. I cannot hear you. So it is okay. So I cannot hear you. Let me check if my problem.
You need to select channel, English or Russian. Do you see the globe button on the bottom of the screen? Уважаемые участники,
So
внимание, сейчас мы наладим.
I don't know, Gulnara, if it is okay, but I cannot hear you. So just in any question, maybe write it in the chat, please.
Окей. Мгм.
So shall we start?
Yep.
We already started.
Yeah, I was trying to check, but yesterday, so let me check if I just
Dots. Мгм. Мгм. Дорогие участники, еще 2-3 минуты. Сейчас спикер подключится, чтобы он слышал нашу речь. И мы начнем.
yeah. So sorry for this. It still seems that I cannot hear you. Okay, maybe now. Can you please try again, Gulnara? Can you speak?
Уважаемые участники, добро пожаловать на наш вебинар. No?
No.
No. Did you select English channel? Yeah?
Если слышны, Аня вас, если слышит, пусть плюс ставят.
Мгм.
Но я вас слышу, в принципе, с нашей стороны.
Дорогие участники, а вы же меня слышите, да?
Великолепно.
Спасибо.
Да, слышу.
Только, значит, он не слышит перевод, да?
Интересно, он этот динамики включил?
Спасибо, дорогие участники. Можете пока в чате написать, какой университет вы представляете, чтобы посмотреть географию нашего вебинара.
Мне кажется, она включила это. Наушники включила и это
М.
не выбрала.
Сейчас наш спикер заново заходит на вебинар. Так, ГТУ
Гульнара,
Разакова, Ожский государственный, Алато. Мгм. Да, Музарбек?
Гульнара, вопрос такой, нам видео обязательно включенным оставлять, да, либо можно без видео?
Нет, можете отключить, конечно.
Не, ну вначале я думал включить, чтобы все знали, кто как выглядит. И,
Да. Мы будем рады вас видеть,
да.
увидеть воочию.
Гульнара, у нас на английском же, да, будет сейчас все?
Нет, с переводом на русский. Вы можете кнопку выбрать, русский перевод, и там.
Не, у меня английский-то хороший, просто вопрос.
Нет, основной будет на русском, и перевод
Ну,
будет обеспечен, синхронный. А на YouTube-канале у нас русская версия, трансляция идет.
м.
Кыргызский авиационный институт. О, рада вас видеть. Окей, подключился он. Абдраимова. Окей.
I hear you now. Can you try?
Добрый день, уважаемые участники. Now
Yes.
you here. Ура! Окей.
Oh,
Наш
great.
спикер на
Thank you.
связи.
Thank
Дорогие
you.
участники, сори за эту техническую деталь. В общем, начнем заново. Итак, я рада вас приветствовать на нашем очередном вебинаре. Сегодня темой нашего вебинара является усиление практикоориентированного и междисциплинарного обучения посредством цифровых инструментов о высшем образовании. Заказчиком данного вебинара является Кыргызский государственный технический университет имени Разакова. Совместно с ними мы проводим сегодня двухдневный вебинар. Вебинар будет длиться 2 дня. Сегодня 3 часа, да, и завтра 3 часа, 3,5 часа, учитывая, сколько будут длиться наши практические обсуждения. И я рада представить вашему вниманию нашего спикера. Нашим основным спикером является профессор Антонио Падовано. Это итальянский ученый и преподаватель в области промышленной инженерии и цифровой трансформации. Он является доцентом университета Калабри, это находится в Италии, и специализируется на системной инженерии, цифровых двойниках, twins, да, я надеюсь, я правильно перевела, промышленность 4.0, искусственном интеллекте и управление логистическими системами. Антонио работал с такими исследовательскими центрами, как MIT, вы все знаете, да, Гарвардская медицинская школа и университетом Руджерс. Является автором более 60 научных публикаций. Антонио, я надеюсь, мы Google поиск сделали правильно и представили вас, да. Вот, Антонио представит 4 презентации, сегодня 2 презентации и завтра 2 презентации. После этих 2 презентаций наша цель обсудить, насколько это реалистично и можно применить на практике у нас, какой опыт у нас есть в республике, как это сопоставить можно с европейским опытом и что полезного вы получите по результатам данного семинара. И со стороны КГТУ, моим сегодня ассистентом, да, и модератором практических обсуждений у нас выступает Музарбек Джолошев, вы его видите на видео. Он является советником ректора Кыргызского государственного технического университета, и он будет модерировать наши практические дискуссии после презентации от Антонио. Итак, Антонио, пожалуйста, слово предоставляется вам. На экране у вас представлена программа сегодняшнего дня. Спасибо.
Thank you very much, Gulnara. I just would like to check again if everything works. So I think please let me know if you hear me loud and clear, if the translation works fine. So just feel free to interrupt if anything doesn't work. I will start sharing my screen now. Is okay. So I first of all would like to thank you for this opportunity, and I would like to start by introducing myself and the work we are doing in our research laboratory, and how it connects to the topics of today's seminar. I am Antonio Padovano. I am an associate professor of smart factories and industrial systems engineering at the Department of Mechanical, Energy and Management Engineering of the University of Calabria. And I've also the role of scientific director of the Human System Symbiosis Laboratory. First of all, a little bit of introduction. I don't know if you ever been in Italy. This is our the shape of our country, and this is the location of our university. So we are located in the south of Italy. And this is an aerial view of our university, which is located on the hills of Cosenza. Our university, the University of Calabria, is the third largest campus in Italy. And it's a large university. We have about 22,000 students, and we are quite happy for being awarded the title of Best Provider of Student Services in Italy. And I think this somehow connects also to what we are doing here today, right? To find new ways to engage students and to understand how digital tools and digital technologies can be used to enhance teaching and training in our universities. This is just an overview of our university. We have many faculties, many departments. I don't know actually if you are from a similar background as myself. Feel free to write in the chat any question at any time. I would really be glad to answer your question even during my talk. So feel free to use the chat, and I will respond to your curiosities, your doubts during today's and tomorrow's call. So once again, I don't know if you are from the engineering background as well, but I think that the topic of today's speech is quite multidisciplinary, because today industry of the future, Industry 4.0. Sorry? Okay. Because today Industry 4.0, 5.0 is actually a very multidisciplinary topic. So when we talk about industry of the future, this is not just engineering. This is not only computer science or automation. This is also about ethics. It is about social sciences, business, economics. So Even in our university, we are collaborating with other departments, including also the ones I mentioned, such as economics, social sciences, and so on, in order to collaborate on the project that I'm going to share with you today. This is our department. So we have more or less 1,500 students with 5-degree programs in mechanical, energy, and management engineering. And it's a quite large department with more than 60 faculty members, academics, and 3 big research laboratories. In particular, these are the research laboratories for those who are interested. So we go from mechanical engineering and traditional mechanical engineering to smart energy and renewables, down to the Laboratory of Innovation and Management Engineering. The last one, the third one, is the one that today is, let's say, involved in our discussion, because this Laboratory of Innovation and Management Engineering is focusing on industrial systems and production plants management, as you can see, as well as business organization, supply chains, and so on. What we are focusing in our daily research activities within this department is actually, as Gulnara perfectly said, is on industrial systems engineering. Our expertise goes from modeling and simulation, digital twins, extended reality, smart operators, and also applications of AI in industry. And we explore these topics in 2 laboratory divisions. The one that I would like to introduce you today, the Human Systems Symbiosis Laboratory, and also another laboratory, which is the Modeling and Simulation Center Laboratory of Enterprise Solution, which is more focused on modeling and simulation. In general, let's say that we are quite open to collaborations. So I'm very happy to know you all today, because I believe that it is always very important to build new relationships. So I'm very happy to meet you, and I would be very glad to talk to you even in the next days, weeks, and months, to understand if there could be some possible collaboration opportunities for projects, for research, for teaching, and for even visiting periods, and so on. So feel free to reach out. I will share later all my contacts and email. I will write it also here in the chat for those who are interested to know more about these topics. What I would like to focus in this call is on these 8 topics today. The first one is on human-centric decision support systems. This is a topic we are exploring right now, and in particular, we are focusing and we are trying to understand how much it is important today to keep people engaged with the new decision support systems. We know today, for example, artificial intelligence, which is a disruptive technology that is supporting decision makers. However, the decisions and topics of AI are not always very clear, and the way AI makes decisions is not always very clear. So we explore in our lab new ways to understand how this interaction can be carried out. Also, we explore applications of AI in productions, logistics, and service systems. We explore topics of human-in-the-loop digital twin technology. We also, Gulnara previously said that we work with digital twins. Today, digital twins are a big revolution because they are able to provide operational intelligence and decision-making support, as well as also automation of some processes, business processes. However, in this narrative, we always forget about the humans. So where are the humans here? So this is what we are talking in our lab. We also explore our fourth pillar, which is assistive technologies for workforce enhancement. So we try to understand how humans can use assistive technologies such as wearables, knowledge assistants, extended reality, and so on. Next, we also explore the topics of human-centric and ethical tech engineering. In particular, we explore how responsible and user-centered practices can be used for technology design and development. We focus on human-machine and human-robot interaction, and we really try to understand how humans interact with robots and autonomous machines. Next, we also work on collective and emotional intelligence in production contexts. This is because we as humans are not machines, and therefore we have to consider the different ways of making decisions, which is not just data and mathematics and algorithms, but also emotions and collective decision making. And finally, personal training, education, teaching, development, and upskilling. This is something in our lab we really want to focus on, because we really think that this is really something important for the future. And I wanted to make this introduction to give you a little bit of context about our laboratory and where our work was coming from. I would like to skip for a moment this by focusing on my teaching, let's say, activity. In particular, I am engaged in the master degree program in management engineering at the University of Calabria, and I teach smart factories. So all those topics that I mentioned earlier are taught to the students in this course. And also, we recently introduced an e-learning platform, always thanks to the project I will present today. We recently introduced this e-learning platform where you can find material about the topics that I will discuss today. I just would like to mention that in our course, in our teaching course, we always tried to embed digital tools, new ways of teaching in order to engage students. And I'm personally always looking for new ways to engage young students. So, for example, we introduced recently a podcast. We know today that new communication methodologies are important to engage students, and in particular, this initiative within the teaching course of our university comes from the concern that sometimes our students do not know what the companies are doing in order to in the topic of digital revolution, digital transformation, and so on. So it is always important to engage them, not just theoretically with a lecture, with a theoretical lecture, with some PowerPoint slides on using the board in the classroom. But it's important to actively engage them, and to when we talk about student-centered teaching, this is actually what we try to do in our university course, right? To put the students at the center of the learning process, and to find new ways to keep them engaged and active. So, for example, in our course, the students are interviewing some local companies, the managers, the operators, the experts and practitioners of local companies that are the experts of a specific topic, a specific theme, in the case of Industry 4.0 and Industry of the Future. So the students in general make questions and interact in the podcast with the people, and based on the feedback we are receiving, they are quite happy of this approach, because it's a way to bring companies closer to the students. So this was a preliminary overview of our laboratory, as well as also the activities that we are running today in our laboratory. But I would like now to go a little bit deeper into this topic and present you one of the projects we are more proud of, because this is about an Erasmus Plus project that we have just completed. And we actually received last week also the results of this project, which was very much appreciated by our national agency, National Erasmus Plus organization. So we believe that it was a very nice project with a lot of consequences that we hope to promote in the next years, because we think that an Erasmus Plus project does not end with the funding, right? So, but it's important to find also a way to sustain the funding that the European community through Erasmus Plus projects are giving, and to find ways to create a sort of business model, right? A sustainment model for these resources that we have developed. So what I would like to discuss here today, I would like to present a little bit the European context and why the higher education must shift, and why now. Then I would like to speak a little bit about how it's important to move from a technology-oriented teaching to a more pedagogy-first teaching. Sometimes this is not, we think this is trivial, right? Obviously, we are teachers, and sometimes we think that we have to consider pedagogical approaches. But even as teachers, sometimes we forget this. So it is important for us to remember that students comes first, and therefore we don't have to teach how a specific technology work, but we need to somehow remember that we have to build and develop skills for the students. I will then talk about some digital tools that we and concrete frameworks and evidence that we have collected in the project, and how our Leonardo project has been addressing all these points. First of all, as I said, we are working in the area of industrial engineering and management. So these are the topics I teach, from product design and development, engineering, economics, supply chain management, manufacturing engineering, engineering management, and so on. So this is the way that traditionally industrial engineering and management was taught at the university, right? But the European context is changing. So we, a few years ago, the Industry 5.0 directive was introduced, and after so many years that Industry 4.0 was introduced, now we are talking about Industry 5.0. Some people think that this is just a terminology, right? This is just a number. But actually, you know, when we started to talk about Industry 4.0, we were just focused on automation, on efficiency, being and creating industries and companies that were more automated, and therefore teaching students how they can build such automated companies. Now, the European Commission is pushing a lot towards a new way of interpreting the industrial domain, which is a more sustainable, human-centric, and resilient European industry. So these are the three pillars, right, that we are focusing on Industry 5.0: sustainability, circular economy, human centricity, so the importance of keeping humans in the loop, keeping them involved, and resilience. So we know how much important became resilience, especially after the pandemic. So we know that this was a big topic to discuss. So in our project and in our laboratory, we focus actually more on the human centricity rather than sustainability and resilience. So today and tomorrow, I'm going to speak more about human centricity. So what is human centricity actually? So this is what we think, right? So there is a technological level and an organizational level. At the technological level, human centricity means that we need to optimize the interactions between individuals with machines and technologies. And therefore, somehow, what we are doing in our course is to teach the students how they can develop, how they can design technologies that are aware of ethics, are aware of human values, respect human values, and therefore preserve all the individual values. So it's important that when we design, develop, implement, maintain technologies, we should always teach students to keep this as an important aspect. But also at organizational level, we are not talking here about technology. We are talking here more about well-being, the occupational health of workers, inclusivity at the workplace, skills development and continuous learning, because obviously a company, an industry, cannot just succeed thanks to technologies, but also to happy people and the importance of streamlined processes and methods. So what's the point about this project? For a long time, when we were talking about human centricity, we were somehow considering human centricity just as ergonomics or occupational health and safety. Instead, human centricity is something much more important. It's about also promoting human values and being, considering the human values in the way we live our world. And also another trend, another motivation for our project, and I believe another motivation that should be somehow embraced by all the university courses, our teaching courses, is to engage new generations. I don't know from your side, but I believe it's quite similar. At least in Italy, it's always very, very difficult to keep the new generations inspired, engaged, and involved in our teaching and our courses. So we believe that education institutions, higher education institutions, training institutions, training organizations in general should find new ways to engage and motivate students. So this is somehow the motivation of our recent work and what we were building. And this is connecting with what the EU is demanding. So the EU is demanding new ways to mitigate the academia industry gap. In Europe and in Italy, we are experiencing serious concerns, serious problems about the gap between the skills that universities are able to provide and to build with the skills and competencies that companies and the industry really need at the end of the day. So it's important to this is generic, I guess, right? Not just in the field of industrial systems engineering and management, but it's always important in any area, in any discipline, to somehow reduce the skill shortage and the skill mismatch. The second EU priority that we wanted to address is the development of an environment where the students could experiment and create something from scratch without any problem. At the European level, they call this sandboxes. So it's a sort of playground where the students can play, they can enjoy, they can spend their time, but at the same time where they learn by doing. So learn by doing is a very popular approach today, even in industrial engineering and management. So we wanted to build a new way to teach such skills. So this picture represents a little bit our vision. I would like to show you this picture a little bit from the top left corner of the figure. So you can see that in the old world, IEM jobs were basically manufacturing engineer, quality engineer, supply chain engineer, the operations manager, or maybe the consultant, the project engineer, the safety specialists, and so on. But these are the old world jobs. And it is important to understand that these new topics that I am showing you right now here, the human centricity in Industry 5.0, is transforming those jobs. So when we talk about the industrial engineer of the future, it's no longer the one that we were used to. So it's important, it's always important to understand how current and future trends will shape new jobs, and how the current trends are changing the jobs, because somehow we have we are the teachers here, and therefore we need to prepare the students to understand the world of tomorrow. So since this human centricity is transforming those jobs, the jobs of the old world become the future IEM jobs. Therefore, somehow we think that future engineers will be industrial engineers 5.0, or maybe industrial manager 5.0, or industrial analysts 5.0. So we understood from many analyses and surveys that factories of the future, and that you see here on the right, actually need those jobs. And what they are experiencing right now is the skill gap I was mentioning earlier. So the skill gap is really a thing today, especially because this is not only something that factories are experiencing, but also the students are experiencing. We know that students are experiencing a skill gap, and therefore sometimes they fail to find a good job, or because the companies need a different type of skill set. So when we talk about skills shortage, it's actually more a skill mismatch, because companies are actually searching and looking for specific skills, and the students are still trained on old style methodologies and competencies. So we developed a human-centric competence profile, which goes from human-machine interaction, explainable artificial intelligence, data analysis and decision making, workplace design, but also soft skills, including workforce engagement, ethical and social responsibility, and so on. So the students are demanding this human-centric competence profile, and therefore it is our commitment, it is our obligation to, as higher education institutions and universities, to provide such human-centric competence profile, or a new way to teach industrial systems engineering. So in the end, as you can see, human centricity is really impacting on higher education institutions. And this is why human centricity has inspired the Leonardo pedagogical approach that I would like to show you today. The full, let's say, project was born from a consideration. I don't know if you are familiar with learning factories. Learning factories is, for us, working in industrial engineering, the gold standard for IEM education and training. Because students basically go in our lab, they can experience an industrial environment like this one. So the students can, they have this playground where they can manage an entire production line. They can make their experiments, they can build new technologies and tools, and so on. So there are many providers, many technology providers of this kind of solutions today on the market. And in particular, we are currently purchasing one for our laboratories as well. But the main issue coming with these kind of solutions is that, as you can see, this looks a lot more like Industry 4.0 solution, educational solution. This is some equipment where the students can learn how a process can be automated and which are all the elements, all the components of an automated production line, from conveyor belts, robots, you have sensors, IoT, you have industrial control systems, and so on. So this is a lot about technology, right? It's not really aligned with what we were trying to say earlier. So for this reason, we identified a few points. So learning factories today are very expensive, and they are sometimes very difficult to deploy for small universities and laboratories. In our case, we know that this is very complicated. On the other side, as we just mentioned it, they are typically built around automation and control, not around human-centric industrial and managerial competencies. So for this reason, we started to think how we can redesign and rethink learning factories to place humans and not machines at the center. So for this reason, we wanted to focus more on the technological approach, let's say, right? We started to think a little bit about that tool adoption previously was the goal, right? So we wanted to teach our students that how a specific technology, how a specific tool works in order to maximize the adoption of this tool, even when they go to the factory later. Based on this approach, the second point is that platform capabilities shape the curriculum. In the past years, even in our courses, I admit, we were selecting maybe some technologies, for example, some simulation tools that we could teach to our students, and therefore the capabilities of that specific simulation tool we were teaching and we were explaining somehow were shaping the curriculum and the skills we were teaching. So it was somehow the technological tool driving the curriculum and the skills, and not the opposite. Also, in the technology-oriented approach of the past, the traditional approach is that one size fits all. So it looks like that we build one unique digital infrastructure that is okay for all the companies, all the administrations, all the environments. And this is actually not the case of today. Today we have such a large heterogeneity that we cannot teach our students that there is only one solution, but there are several solutions that you can experiment, that you can test, assess, and deploy. The next point is the human factor. In the past, the human factor was secondary. Think of it again in the case of the automated learning factories I showed you earlier. Instead, today, human factor is no longer secondary. And finally, IEM curricula today are still technocentric. So somehow we focus, when we teach industrial systems engineering, we always teach the specific technologies, how the technologies work, which are the components and the building blocks of the different technologies, and so on. We are trying now to change, to somehow rethink our approach, moving to a pedagogy-oriented approach. So our learning outcomes drive the tool selection. So it's no longer the tool from the company that somehow drives what we teach, but we need to focus and we need to really understand which are the objectives, the learning objectives, and based on those, select the appropriate technology. Based on this, the curriculum should be constructively aligned. So the technology should be just a support to the curriculum. So somehow this is the traditional approach in engineering education. So first of all, the educators must ask what competence do I want this student to have? So we focus on the intended learning outcomes. Next, we focus on, once we understand the learning outcomes, we want to understand what activity will build that intended learning outcome. So, and therefore we design the teaching and learning activities. And finally, how will I assess whether they have it? So how can I assess and understand if the students have correctly understood the topic and they have acquired the skill and competence? So only once we have an answer to all the three questions that you can see here, the question becomes which tool best supports this. So this is what we mean by learning outcomes driving the tool selection and a curriculum that is constructively aligned with this approach. In our pedagogical approach also, we wanted to create differentiated tools for different profiles because, as I said, it's not just about teaching industrial systems engineering, but understanding who the students can become in the future, an operator, an analyst, a manager, and so on. So this is important for from our perspective. In the past, we said that human centricity is the design principle. Instead, human centricity was just a secondary, factor. Now is the design principle. So it's important for us to somehow put human factors at the center. And finally, also about curriculum that embeds ethics, ergonomics, human-robot collaboration as core modules. So to conclude this part, I would like to say that in our project, at a certain moment, we asked ourselves, probably let's say, the learning factory that I was showing you earlier is not really useful for what we would like to accomplish. So we built a learning factory, a completely new learning factory, whose pedagogical intention is different. We didn't want to build something fully automated, but the purpose was to build something that somehow can help us to preserve the human role with Industry 5.0 principles. So I will show you now in the next part of the speech also what we did. So again, if you have any questions, any curiosity, feel free to write in the chat. And Gulnara, let me know if I need to make a break. Just feel free to let me know.
Yes, we have 15 minutes break between two presentations. У нас 15-минутный перерыв между двумя презентациями, дорогие участники. Если у вас есть вопросы, поднимите руку, мы вам включим микрофон, или напишите свой вопрос в чат, если у вас вопросы к нашему спикеру.
Yeah, I see a question in the chat. Thank you. So I will actually show you a practical example of how we embedded the human centricity design in our learning factory, and I will share with you a lot of material at the end of this webinar that is actually open. So I will share with you a lot of material from this point of view. So I will make sure to send everything here, even here in the chat, or to Gulnara for distribution to you. And I will be very happy to collaborate with you in the future. If you're interested in a similar approach that I will show you later, we can definitely collaborate. So shall we make a break now, Gulnara?
Yes, 15 minutes break.
Perfect.
Дорогие участники, у нас перерыв на 15 минут. Встречаемся онлайн через 15 минут здесь. Пока обдумаете презентацию, ту информацию, которая вам была представлена, напишите вопросы в чате, чтобы не забыть. До встречи через 15 минут. Antonio, are you ready? Thank you. Дорогие участники, а? Дорогие участники, продолжаем вторую часть нашего вебинара, и Антонио продолжит демонстрацию, презентацию свою.
Отлично.
Thank you, Gulnara. So, I guess you can see again my screen.
Yes.
Now, in this second part, I would like to be a little bit more practical and show you what we did in our university thanks to the Erasmus Plus funding. In particular, this was, if you are familiar with the Erasmus Plus program, this was a KA 220 action. It's let's say the action for higher educations institutions that want to somehow develop new learning material, learning resources, and renovate somehow the way they teach in their universities. So, given what we said earlier, we decided to write this project, and luckily we got funded about designing, developing, and testing new teaching methods, materials, and tools for human-centric industrial engineering and management. And what we did? Well, you can see here three different objectives or sub-objectives. The first one is a little bit, let's say, unconventional, because it was about designing, installing, and make 5.0 a small-scale replica of a brewing system that we called LEAF, which was the acronym for Learning and Experimenting Open Access Factory. And this will serve as a hands-on learning environment, an incubator for human-centric students' ideas. The second objective was to actually train and test materials with the students. And the third objective was to nurture, to develop a European community of faculty members, but also staff of higher education institutions in order to understand what we should do in order to modernize industrial engineering and management education in the light of Industry 5.0. So this was a project we carried out not by ourselves. We were coordinating the project, and we were supported by the University of Applied Sciences in Upper Austria, the University of Malta, Caltech, which is a spin-off company of our university, and EIT Manufacturing North. So 4 countries were involved in this project. Let's try to focus on the main pillars, let's say, of what we were trying to build. So first of all, I mentioned that we were focusing on some unconventional learning approach. At the beginning of the lecture, I was mentioning that we need ways to engage, to attract young people, and therefore we decided to somehow disrupt a little bit the way we teach some topics and create a brewing factory, a brewing system, an environment where the students can learn while doing, but also while having fun, because obviously not only they learn about industrial automation, smart factories, human-centric engineering, and so on, but also at the same time they know how to brew, how to manage a brewing process, and so on, and to produce something that is really tangible. So in our course, we started this very, very practical approach. The second point is the multidisciplinary collaboration. So we mentioned at the beginning that Industry 5.0 is is not just for engineers, is not computer science and automation, but it involves also social sciences, ethics, also economics, to some extent also by, let's say, medicine and biological sciences, because when we talk about, for example, the cognitive ergonomics, we also have to consider that behind cognitive ergonomics and the fact that people can get stressed during or at the workplace, also these topics are treated and analyzed by our colleagues from medicine. So the idea was to create an environment where also professors can bring their students from multiple departments, multiple faculties, and collaborate together on solving a specific problem. So problem-based learning was adopted, and in particular for these problems, multiple people with different backgrounds, different skills were involved. At the same time, this was not just an environment for teaching, but also already represented a fantastic environment for research, because we built our own research environment where some technologies, some tools, some, let's say, frameworks or whatever could be tested in a real environment. Usually as engineers, we need real environments to test our solutions and so on. In this case, this brewing system represents not only a teaching environment, but also a research-oriented tool. And we also discussed the other two pillars that you can see here. So the focus here was on human-centric IEM, because the point was that we didn't want to automate the full process. And also this should be a playground for experimentations and innovative teaching. So we wanted to create an environment where the students could go there and test whatever they want. So as I said, this was created in a very compact way. So it is a digitally enhanced environment, which goes from malt milling to bottling, and it includes many technologies. So going from software to automated automation control tools, to intelligent recipe management, computer vision, predictive analytics, virtual reality, simulation and digital twins, and so on. So the laboratory, the smart brewing laboratory that we created is equipped and was equipped during the project with many technologies of this kind. We are quite happy that during the project we were also awarded being part of the catalog of Smart Factory Labs promoted by the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, as an excellent practice for teaching students from this point of view. This is the process brewing that is implemented in the lab, but I would like to show you the video about our laboratory. So as you can see, the lab is not like the fully automated factory that I was showing you earlier. It was purposefully built not fully automated because, as we said, we need humans involved. So we decided to go for a hybrid approach where humans control some processes, some tasks, and they have to make it manually, while instead other tasks are fully automated and fully digitally controlled. Now, what about how we are using these new learning factory brewing lab for teaching? We built many material from this point of view, and we tested a lot of resources as part of this project. First of all, we built a white paper. So in the white paper that you can easily access with this QR code, but it is also available in the website that I shared with you in the chat. So you can go in the chat, click on the link, and give a look at the website. You can download this white paper because it explains, from our point of view, our vision of human-centric factories and how industrial engineering and management is changing at the moment. So we are talking about empowerment and inclusivity. We are talking about also empathic intelligence, and ethical design and engineering. But what was very interesting as part of the project was this analysis report and mismatches of universities with Industry 5.0 requirements. So basically, we analyzed, as you can see in the chart here, the maturity level of many technologies and disciplines in the field of smart factories. So you can see here that you have from left to right, from low to high maturity. And on the vertical axis, the number of courses and curricula offered at peer universities in Europe. So the analysis, the full analysis is available in this scientific paper that you can see here in the slide with the full reference, so you can find more information there. So somehow we wanted to understand with this chart how much a specific technology is mature and how many courses or curricula are offered in Europe. And it was pretty interesting to understand, obviously, the sides of these circles represents also the importance of a specific discipline. Now, what emerges from this study is that we can split this table in 4 quadrants. The first quadrant is about innovate and pioneer. So we have a low maturity, so we are here on the left side, and few courses on these topics. So you can see here that the orange points actually represent the fact that there are very few courses at European institutions, and the technology per se is not yet mature, let's say. So there is still a lot of research ongoing. So surprisingly, when we were analyzing industrial engineering and management approaches, we noticed that in this quadrant, probably there are some underdeveloped areas, such as interoperability, simulation and digital twins, extended reality, robotics and self-optimizing systems, so cybersecurity. So these topics are not treated, are not taught in industrial engineering and management courses. So this is the quadrant and also the recommendation for universities, because the idea of developing this quadrant-based matrix is also to provide recommendations to universities. In the second quadrant, which was the few courses and high maturity, this includes some scientifically mature topics, but that remain still underrepresented in curricula. This includes maintenance. It includes also artificial intelligence, case studies. So these topics are, even if obviously today there is still a lot discussed about this, they are quite mature topics. But in industrial systems engineering or management, these topics are not really added in our curricula. The third quadrant about the high maturity and many courses includes mechatronics, cyber physical systems, IoT, networking and communication, technology and innovation management, organization management. So these are traditional courses that are long established, and therefore really many courses are out there. So therefore, it does not really represent an area of innovation. So it's a quadrant that we should maybe monitor and expand. And the final one is about low maturity and many courses. So we are talking about smart logistics, maybe even including drones and this kind of stuff, as well as also big data and information engineering, policy and standards, and so on. So this is still something that is being developed, but there are many courses around. We found many courses around. So the strategy here could be to explore and enhance. So the idea of developing these, and you can find more information about even the countries covered and so on, can be found in the reference that you see below. So based on this, in the white paper, we started to think a little bit about how learning is changing today. And we created this sort of roadmap, right? So going from learning 1.0 to learning 5.0. It's a little bit like a sort of replica of the evolution of industry, from industry 1.0 to industry 4 and 5.0. So we could call it from instead of the industrial revolutions, we can call it the learning revolutions. So learning 1.0 basically is the most experiential form of learning, where in the ancient times, individuals were acquiring knowledge by observing natural phenomena and mimicking behaviors. So this was the first type of learning methods. In the second approach, with the invention of writing and the printing press, knowledge became codified, became transferable, and therefore we were using books, encyclopedias, manuals to learn. In learning 3.0, instead of using books, we started to use some multimedia-rich material. We started to use, for example, digital encyclopedias or maybe some CD-ROMs, and this kind of phase somehow was signaling the beginning of EdTech, of education technology. And we probably today, we are in the fourth phase, right? In learning 4.0, where we are using digital tools such as the internet, the e-learning platforms, MOOCs, or virtual classrooms in order to support our teaching activities. Therefore, we have a complete change from a teacher-centered approach to a student-centered approach. And this is also today supporting self-paced and location-independent education. So the students do not need to follow the lecture in class, but they can also do it later at their house, because they can see the video lecture later at home. I can see I see a question here in the chat. I'm sharing the screen. Can you please confirm that you can see my screen, or if it's only?
Yes, it's visible, the screen.
Okay. Okay.
Yep, we can see it.
Thank you. And we started to think about also the future of learning, right? So how that learning is changing in the next years. So I would like to understand. I would like to understand from the students, from the young guys, how they would like to learn, and we noticed that actually they have a completely new way of learning, and obviously artificial intelligence today is completely revolutionizing this. Now, how should we face this, right? So this is a revolution. Can we stop it? Probably not. I believe that we should somehow embrace the new era of AI-assisted and personalized learning, using generative AI tools for learning, or maybe for tailoring content to individual needs. To use these tools to support both the student but also the teacher in providing good content, good materials, and so on, and even to create adaptive learning pathways for the students. So it's something, I think, that even in the scientific literature, it's something that very recently was proposed, and researchers started to explore. But I would say that from my experience, we are somehow shifting from the fourth to the fifth case here. So I'm very, happy to understand and to explore also how this will unfold in the next years. So I would like to show you now in more detail what we are doing in our factory. But first of all, these are based on our white paper on human-centric industrial engineering and management, to show you what we are somehow teaching and which are the main topics of our curricula. But I will talk more about this tomorrow when we will talk about the curriculum. So please allow me to skip a little bit this, because tomorrow we will have the possibility to understand everything about this. What I would like to move to is especially some educational strategies. I first would like to show you that all the material is available here. So we created, as part of the project, such open resources for educators and trainers. So we have a teacher's handbook that you can download for free from the website, as well as also a classroom resource kit. You have several slides, a lot of material about our project, case studies, and so on, that you can use in your lectures if obviously this is your topic and you're focusing on this. I see here a question from Aigul. So you are asking whether your laboratory involved the use of collaborative robots. Could you please tell us about their functions and how they are used in the brewing process? Of course. So actually, we have in our laboratories one cobot that is not yet integrated in the brewing process, but the idea for the moment is to integrate this cobot for pick and place operations. So as you know, as I was showing you earlier in the video, many pick and place operations are currently carried out manually by the students or the people that are managing the brewing factory. So the idea is to use a cobot for this type of operations, either let's say before the production or after the production. So somehow in between the production and the inventory management of our raw materials or our finished bottles. So the idea is to show, for example, how people interact with cobots, because and this is for me the most interesting part, when companies integrate and deploy collaborative robots, there are many human factors to consider. People maybe are not very, let's say, comfortable to work alongside autonomous cobots. In some analysis and even in the scientific literature shows that the stress levels increase when you are close to a cobot. So even what we teach, for example, in the course about smart factories, is that the cobots are equipped with a lot of safety mechanisms that are somehow managed by all the standards, ISO standards, and so on. But besides these standards, there is the human factor. People get stressed, people don't know what to do. Task allocation is also a relevant aspect to consider, because when you have to decide whether a specific task shall be allocated to the human or to the robot, this is also based on human factors. So, and this is also what we are exploring, for example, in our laboratory from this point of view. So to use, for example, human factors to discern whether the task allocation is efficient or not. So if Aygul, you're interested in this topic, we can definitely maybe have some discussion also in the next days, and I'm quite happy to talk about this and let you know what we are thinking to implement for the future. In particular, and this goes with the way the students are experimenting with this topic. In the course, I am teaching all the aspects on smart factories. At the end of the course, what we do is to understand if the students are mastering that topic. So it somehow are able to understand all the implications of implementing technologies, because implementing technologies is not just about, as we said, efficiency, but it's about the cost of deployment, the cost of implementation, a sort of cost-benefit analysis, and also all the possible implications, including adoption, including skepticism, and so on. We know that operators, workers in factories and companies are very, very heterogeneous. So implementing technologies should consider this heterogeneity. After this, let's say, overview, let me skip back. Sorry. I wanted to actually show you something we are doing, and somehow to introduce what I would like to talk about tomorrow. So, as part of the project, we created a curriculum. So, as we said, we started to brainstorm a little bit about the skills we wanted to build in our students, and therefore we started to build such curriculum. So I will give you an overview of the curriculum we built, and tomorrow I will show you also all the details. I will discuss about some potential collaboration opportunities between our university and your universities, if you would like to, and also some material for your students, because our e-learning platform is open to everyone. Therefore, they can actually use these video lectures that we have created here, and they are free for use. So this picture shows you the modules that we have created. The first module is about human-centric industrial engineering and management. So it's a sort of overview of the entire, let's say, the entire topic, the discipline, what is the meaning of human centricity, what is industrial engineering and management, and so on. The second module is about empowerment and inclusivity, so how we should consider these two topics in factories of the future. The third module is about empathetic and social workplaces. So it's important to understand today that it's not just about efficiency, but it is about creating also social environments, empathetic environments, where companies today are not made just by humans. Companies today are made by humans, but also robots, also AI assistants. So it is important in future factories, from our point of view, to understand this and understand that empathetic relationships and social challenges, let's say, social problems, can also emerge from this interaction, which is not, let's say, human-to-human interaction. But in the future, these problems can also arise from human to machine, human to AI, or even maybe it's a little bit too futuristic, but even AI to AI interactions. We are talking today about AI agents. So this is another trend that it's important to consider, especially for its impacts on what is happening in the real world, and therefore on how we can teach our students to understand what is happening in the real world. And therefore, in Module 4, we provide some theoretical considerations, but also practical tools and instruments on how to carry out ethical and responsible technology engineering. In the other modules, we have also created case studies for the students out of the different topics we explore, as well as also using real business case studies. We have tutorials as well that show how our brewing factory work. Therefore, the students can have, and actually also you have all the information about how our brewing factory works. This is actually material that covers many hours. So I think that the tutorials cover about 9 hours of teaching, because they really go into the detail of what we have implemented on our site. So they are video lectures that you can openly and freely access through our website. And at the end, an educational toolkit. It's important for us to reach also students in other countries. So, and I'm very glad that we are here today, because I hope that this material that we have developed can be also used from your side. What do you have in this educational toolkit? You have data that can be used by the students to train some machine learning algorithm. You have the simulation model of our short supply chain. You have also some, if I remember well, also some Node-RED implementation. So our automation control platform. So there are some instruments that the students can use. I wanted to show you, yes, this one. So as you can see, our each one of these modules are divided into specific lectures that cover many topics. Both PowerPoint and PDF lecture slides are available, so you can just go on the website and download these slides. But if you go to our e-learning platform, you can actually follow our lecture based on these slides. So, for example, in the module 0 about human-centered production, you can see our vision, an introduction to the topic, basics of human-centered design, as well as fundamentals of human factors and ergonomics in production systems. In module 1, you can see empowerment and inclusivity topic. Therefore, you have our vision for inclusive workspaces, how to embed inclusivity by design. Also, the technologies augmenting physical and cognitive capabilities of the operators. And therefore, we need to talk also about anthropometry, biomechanics, and usability engineering. We also have a lecture about lifelong learning and skills development in high-tech production, as well as also human-centered design for work at a distance. We know how much important is today remote working, smart working. So we also discuss and explore this. In module 2, we talk about the empathetic and social interaction in factories of the future. So we talk about social engineering design, generative AI and human AI collaboration, emotional intelligence and empathy-driven AI systems, explainable AI and trust in collaborative workplaces, empathy and social bonding in human-robot interaction. And this is what I was mentioning to Aygul earlier about how we are planning to integrate robots in our brewing system. So the idea is to integrate it, to have it in there, but later also explain the students and explore together with the students how this empathy and social bonding unfolds. And also social sustainability and social leadership topics, which is more like managerial style. Regarding the ethical and responsible technology engineering, we have, of course, basics and fundamentals. We have the ethical implications of human augmentation and enhancements, ethical audits and risk assessments, ethical and human-centered AI. A big topic, obviously, is the ethics of data collection, workplace surveillance, and privacy in industry. As you can imagine, in Europe, with our GDPR normative, this is a big topic. Another lecture is on well-being and work-life balance, as well as on ethical governance and technology regulation, fairness and accountability, as well as ethical design through traditionally very popular approaches such as value-sensitive design and tarot cards. So this is an overview of our curriculum that we have started to create and to include in our factory and in our university course. Now, I would like to show you that this is actually existing in our e-learning platform. So I hope you can still see my screen, but you have the website of our e-learning platform in the chat if you want to access it. So if you click on these courses and you log in our platform, you will be able to complete all the material. So you have many video lectures from this point of view, including additional resources for the students and the teachers. And at the end, you also have the tutorials that explain how our brewing factory works at Unical. So for you, it's I think a nice way to understand what we created here. And one important aspect that I want to underline before we close today's session is that it is important for us. So we tested this with the students over the project duration. They are very happy of this new approach of teaching, and tomorrow I will show you more into detail how to build the lectures, how to what we are doing on our side, the results that we achieved, and also some possible collaboration opportunities. But what is important is that if you, for any reason, are interested in this type of approach, we can definitely talk together because we have a lot of material from our side that we can share. So if you're interested in something like this, I believe that we can collaborate, but we can even somehow work together on some projects, right? So somehow we can prepare together even in the future project proposals, even under the Erasmus Plus funding program. And somehow we can create a sort of follow-up of this approach by implementing this maybe in other universities. What we are doing at the moment is we are collaborating with many other universities in order to implement a similar approach. And tomorrow I will also show you that we are creating a sort of international competition among students on these topics. So the students will be able, it's a sort of hackathon, let's say. So the students will be able to understand more about this topic through a a practical approach. So I don't know if you have any question or curiosity based on this preliminary information that I have shared. Again, also feel free to let me know if this you want to know more about something, so I can somehow drive my speech tomorrow towards some specific, let's say, topics rather than others. So feel free to let me know. Gulnara, also feel free to let me know your feedback and yeah.
Thank you, Antonio. Just let me ask the audience, yeah. Дорогие участники вебинара, нам очень повезло, что Антонио открыт к сотрудничеству, даже предлагает совместные проекты, да, даже по линии Erasmus или по тем вопросам, которые он вам представил. Представил очень много ресурсов, ссылок, да, даже показал структуру модулей, как они могут быть выстроены и из каких тем состоять. Поэтому, если у вас есть интерес, пожалуйста, пишите вопросы до завтрашнего дня. И Антонио спрашивает, какую бы тему еще бы вы хотели услышать завтра, да, может быть, изменить что-то в программе, что может быть вам интересно. Если нет, то тогда мы отпустим Антонио, да, и продолжим с практическими дискуссиями. Так, есть ли вопросы?
Antonio, I would like to say thank you. It was very informative and very educational, very interesting too. And I got a lot of information for myself. Very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Antonio, no
So
question.
Yeah, Antonio, I don't think we have questions, so I think we're gonna let you go till tomorrow, and we're gonna discuss what happened with the colleagues.
Perfect. So again, here you have my contacts if you want to contact me for any reason. Tomorrow we will go more into detail of our curriculum approach and the lectures we have implemented. And again, I will try to share with you some more collaboration opportunities. So as Gulnara said, I'm very open for collaborations and even to prepare some proposals and projects together, but even for exchanges. So consider that even our university sometimes provide funding for visits from abroad. So if anyone would like to raise the hand and say that would like to come and visit, please let us know and we can definitely find a way. So and it could be a first step towards a more practical and real collaboration on maybe on this topic or similar topics. So thank you once again and see you tomorrow then.
See you.
Thank you.
И большая благодарность переводчику, да, тоже вам до свидания, и мы продолжим нашу практическую часть на русском языке. Так, Мурзабек, все, я передаю вам слово, да?
Спасибо, Гульнара. Ну, это было очень интересно, знаете, я послушал, и я сам в Америке учился, и как бы то, что они такое делают, как бы это они, как говорится, в ногу с сегодняшним днем, да? У нас сейчас, если новости почитаете, все искусственный интеллект. И знаете, в последнее время я сам его начал очень сильно использовать. Вот веб-сайты делать, знаете, даже приглашения. Сейчас настолько искусственный интеллект стал умным, то что я говорю, слушай, сделай мне веб-сайт вот на 3 языках, кыргызский, русский, текст такой-то на русском. Он мне сам все переводит, сам все веб-сайт делает. И как бы уже готовое. И программисты уже не нужны стали. И если сегодня вернемся к Антонию, то он сказал, что цифровые инструменты – это важная, да, составляющая сегодняшнего преподавательской работы. потому что вот мы все с политеха, и, знаете, технологии каждый день обновляются, то, что книги даже не успевают писать, да, что-то новое выпускать. И мы даже 1 месяц, уже технологии за 1 месяц, они настолько вперед продвинулись. Поэтому, я так думаю, нам нужно принимать, как говорится, использовать вот эти все, вот на примере их, но также разработать свое и использовать искусственный интеллект, цифровые вот помощников, да, в новом этом. Вот даже, знаете, можно, оказывается, даже загрузить нынешние, что у нас есть курсы, так сказать, преподавательский план, да, и он как бы уже на современный лад, так как мы преподаем инженерию, инженерия каждый день как бы обновляется. Поэтому я думаю, нам нужно использовать это, и каждому вот преподавателю, профессору, факультету, я думаю, мы можем, знаете, вот какую-то подписку вот, организовать. Вот мы сейчас тоже делаем платформу с искусственным интеллектом для стартапов, для компаний, чтобы мы помогали. И также, я думаю, вот, профессорам, составу преподавателей, я думаю, это будет очень важно использовать, да, современные технологии. Даже иногда, знаете, писать лекции, да, чтобы он написал. И также было очень важно, как они проводят практическую работу, да, вот они вот студентов учат в реальной жизни, что происходит, лаборатории. И как бы сейчас вот наш ректор тоже сказал, будем усилия бросать на лаборатории, на практические задания, да, чтобы студенты, когда выходили из политеха, они уже были готовы к реальному миру. Вот, что еще? Он рассказал про их проект Леонардо, а, и примеры, вот как они использовали цифровые технологии для поддержки, да, вот обучения. И я думаю, было очень интересно, Гульнара. Я думаю, у кого есть вопросы, давайте обсудим.
Мгм. Да, спасибо, Музарбек, за обратную связь.
Мгм.
Уважаемые участники, вы еще с нами или нет? Подайте знак.
Спасибо, было все очень интересно.
Спасибо, Айгузель. Больше ничего не хотите сказать нам?
Ну, к вам конкретно, наверное, нету. Хотелось бы у Антонио более попросить больше по цифровым инструментам в образовании. Вот эта часть меня больше интересует.
Окей, потому что он же еще про педагогический подход туда делал акцент, не только технологии. Вот, по цифровым инструментам больше раскрыть, да? Сейчас я ему напишу тогда. Мгм. Ура, у нас оживление в чате, есть живые участники. Спасибо. Уважаемые участники, если у вас нет вопросов, тогда мы завершим работу, да, вебинара и продолжим завтра. Завтра тоже нас
Мгм.
ждут 2 его презентации, да?
Да, завтра в час, да, Гульнара, в это же
Да,
время?
также.
Ага,
Мгм.
ну отлично.
Еще, уважаемые участники, очень полезная информация, то, что Антонио сказал. У его университета, Карабия, да, университет в Италии, есть бюджет на то, чтобы вас пригласить, вы туда поехали по сотрудничеству, да, с их университетом. Я думаю, это хорошая возможность, чтобы для вас получить новый опыт, да, и, может быть, какое-то сотрудничество там инициировать. В общем, пользуйтесь этим, потому что не все европейские спикеры, да, предоставляют такие возможности. Так, ну что, тогда, Мурзабек, мы завершаем, да?
Да, завершаем. Гульнар, спасибо вам. До завтра. Будем на связи все.
Все, спасибо всем участникам, до
Все.
завтра.
Спасибо всем. До свидания. До завтра.
Спасибо, до завтра.